Hey everyone, welcome back for another video on Legend of Mushroom. Today I want to talk about the new artifact under the dome and the new mount that we had this weekend in a new big series of events. You will see that the new artifact, maybe I'm using it wrong, but I don't feel like it's a good artifact. We will check that. And the mount is pretty good for one content. Let's talk about all of this in detail. So just let me remind you what the artifact and the mount are doing. The artifact is gonna summon a copy of a random enemy character or boss unit, excluding Lava Behemoth, Grumpy Big Head, Spectacle Spectre, and a Hellhound, within the range every 14 seconds. This is not random. Forget about that term, this is not random. In fact, it is just gonna copy the opponent. So basically, if you are in PvP, you are gonna summon a clone of the target of the opponent. And this is ridiculous. Because if you are stronger than the opponent, it's useless to summon the opponent, right? But if the opponent is stronger than you, maybe it might help. We will check that. In PvE, that artifact is completely useless versus the Lava Behemoth, Grumpy Big Head, the Spectacle Spectre, and Hellhound. Because in these content, you can't use that artifact. It's just not gonna work. You are summoning absolutely nothing. So forget about that artifact for these four content. For the other content, it's pretty fun because I tried that versus the dragon and I was summoning the little dragon, so that was pretty fun, but I don't think that it is really worth it neither. The clone summoned will get 20% of the opponent's max HP and 40% of their own attack during 5 seconds. And it's gonna trigger 1.5 seconds after the start of the battle. Shield equal to 10% max HP every 11 seconds at the start of the battle for 8 seconds, during which we have 6% more damage resistance, but after we lose the shield, we get 3% final damage resistance and 3% more attack during the entire battle. And you can stack these effects for 3 times. So on the long run, it's gonna help you a lot. Because here, it's some final damage resistance way better than the classic damage resistance we had generally. So let's challenge the boss here first and let's check what it does. Look at that, I have a clone now and this is a copy of the boss, so this is pretty fun, right? But the boss can just basically one-shot the clone because it doesn't have a lot of health and a lot of attack. But I was almost able to kill the boss, so what if now I change my artifact and if I use the bow instead, the one I had before? Or you know what? Instead of changing my artifact, I'm just gonna cancel it. So now I'm using no artifact at all. Let's retry the fight to see if there is a difference. Just to see the impact given by the new artifact. So I took 2 attacks. Now it proc the effect of the cheat amount. And it was a bit worse than before, but the result was close. So it's not giving a lot to you in PvE, right? So let's use, for example, that artifact and let's check the difference. Challenge the boss again. He is starting to attack me. Now I have the effect of the cheat amount. And look, the boss was almost dead. So what is the utility of that artifact? Artifacts are really expensive and apparently here it's not doing anything. Let's use the bow instead just to see if there is a difference. Okay, I'm almost dead, cheat amount, and I was able to kill the boss. So the bow is a bit better than the Flaming Carnage, which is way better than the new artifact. And basically, the new artifact is gonna do the same for the different content. Here, for example, if I go on the Molten Ruins, you will see this is pretty fun because I can summon a dragon. But is the dragon effective? Look at that, I have a little dragon. So it lasts only 5 seconds, so in fact you have it for the first boss and after that you need to wait 14 seconds more, so you will never get it. See, here I have the effect of the cheat amount and I am dead because I have no health anymore. Okay, wait, I have the dragon again. Look at that, this is the big dragon that time. So this is pretty fun, isn't it? But it doesn't help me at all. If I changed my artifact one more time, let's use the bow instead, go back to fight, and let's check what happens now. Normally I should have way more damage. I was able to kill the first boss super fast. Now I'm on the second one, but I have no effect at all, so I'm gonna start taking some damage. Didn't proc the effect of the cheat amount. Now, third boss, he is disarmed. I was able to kill the boss. Fourth one, I have the damage immunity. I took one attack, so it proc the effect of the cheat amount. And now I'm on the final boss. I can disarm him. Okay, it didn't work. But I was able to get further than with the first artifact. But what about PvP now? Let's find out. First of all, I want to use the Beast Row bow. So let's go in PvP here, challenge mode, and face that tanky player. Let's check the damage I can have. The fight is starting. He is summoning 2 clones, because when you are using a tanky class, you need to use multiple clones at once. This is the best way to survive, to be annoying for the opponent. So here, I have to damage the clone before being able to attack the target. And I'm wasting a lot of time by doing that. And I am almost dead. Now the effect of the cheat amount. And look at that, even during the 3 seconds, I am not even able to kill the opponent. So if you want to beat the cheat amounts, make a tanky build with multiple clones, and you will counter that. So now, what if I change and use that artifact instead? Same player, same fight, but a different artifact. So let's check what is gonna happen. Here, I just summon the clone. This is the clone of the opponent, but he was on my side. So he is really tanky. It helps me to survive a bit longer, but in that case, the clone has no attack at all. Look at that, I summoned it again. It's tanking a lot of damage for me during 5 seconds, but look at that. I still haven't damaged the target. So I'm losing a lot of damage by using the artifact. And the fight is over. He is still full life, even after the use of the cheat amount. But there is something else that I want to try. What if you are using a tanky build? There is an issue with that artifact with a tanky build as well. So let's change my class. I'm gonna pick my Spirit Channeler. There we go. Now time to change the build I am using. Let's take the PAL one. So now on all my pieces of gear, I have a lot of regeneration. Let's go to presets and set a PAL here for both the PvP arenas. So if we check my stats now, I have 300 billion HP. And normally I should have a lot of regeneration, 6.72, which is a lot. And there I have a really tanky build. Let's retry versus the same player just to see if there is a difference or not. Who is gonna win the fight? The fight is almost over. We are both full life. This is just so ridiculous. 8 seconds before the end. Look at that. The clone is tanking all the damage, but we are gonna try after that versus a Plume Monarch to see if there is a difference or not. Okay, so let's go in cross-server rank match and try to beat that player. 80,000 power, so he has 2,000 less power than me. And look at what is happening. He just destroyed the clone I summoned just because in fact it's a copy of himself. And the summon didn't have time to deal some damage, so it was absolutely useless and I died in a second. So that artifact is way below the bow and the flaming carnage. It is just terrible. And the fact that here it's written random, this is not random, this is always the opponent. I don't know if it's intended or what, but that artifact is really bad. Okay, go back to my main build, let's change the presets as well. Let's remove that artifact, use the bow instead, and now we are gonna try the mount. Let's go back in PvP, and first of all, use the cheat amount versus send noodles. You will see the efficiency of the different mounts I'm gonna show you in that video. So here we are, the fight is starting, I'm getting controlled at the start, and so I couldn't deal any damage at all. And now I can start attacking, but look at that, he has another clone, and I am forced to attack that clone, which one takes no damage. And look at that, he's summoning that clone most of the time, so this is a great artifact. The one that summons the Olympic clone here. But he took a lot of damage, he's regenerating a lot. I'm gonna proc the effect of the cheat amount, but he's probably gonna summon another clone. Okay, he has the cheat amount too, so I wasn't able to beat him. Now, I wanna use this one instead. There we are. I am getting controlled, of course. So now I can start attacking. He's taking a lot of damage right at the beginning. Controlled again. I can disarm him, increase my attack speed, but I am forced to attack the clones before attacking him. And look at that, I already proc the effect of the cheat amount. So in terms of damage, this is way better. But now I want to try another mount. Let's take the Panda mount. Immunity to controls and way more attack. Right at the beginning and during the fight. The first seconds of the fight matter a lot, because this is here that you are gonna have a great increase in damage thanks to all your skills. And look at the damage he took right at the beginning of the fight. This is really insane, and already procced the cheat amount after a few seconds. But with another player using a damage dealer build as mine, for example, the Panda mount is not gonna be that efficient if the target has the cheat amount. Otherwise, this is the best mount to use. So let's go back here and try to face another player. This Plume Monarch, for example. So here I have no cheat amount. I'm using the Panda mount. So I'm not getting controlled. He's apparently using the Panda mount as well. I was able to kill him. So let's try to find another Plume Monarch. He has more power than I, but probably this one is using the cheat amount. Okay, I'm able to deal some damage, but he has the cheat amount, and 2 seconds before the end, I am dying. So let's change my mount again. Let's use the new one, and let's try to find another player using the cheat amount as well. There we are, another Plume Monarch, and normally this one is using the cheat amount. So let's try that. He is getting controlled, so there is no Panda mount. The countdown is here, and I was almost able to kill him. But if you check the fight, he is using the wrong avian, and this is why I was almost able to kill him. If he was using the Sunshine Bringer, I would have had absolutely no chance. So the cheat amount is still the top 1 mount we have today. After that we have the Panda mount, and after that we have some other mounts, and this new mount is pretty good for that. But what about PvE now? Let's check how far I go here with the waves. Revelation 10:5:1. So there I have no shield anymore. I'm starting to take some damage, and by the way, I'm using the Beast Row bow, which means that I have great damage on waves. Okay, so this is the second wave. I have the damage immunity, they are coming to me, and I am already dead. And that was with that mount. Let's use the Cloud Drifter by curiosity, and let's see how fast I can kill the waves, using both the bow and the Cloud Drifter. On the first wave, I have to stack, and after that, I can start dealing crazy damage. So I am already on the second wave. And now, normally, I should be able to kill them really fast. Look at the damage they are taking. So the Cloud Drifter for the waves is way better than the others. Fourth wave. Am I gonna reach the boss wave? If I take a hit, I am dead. So I don't think I can. But who knows? Okay, I'm dead, but that was really close. So for the waves, the Cloud Drifter is better than the new mount. Let's try versus the Lamb Thief to see the damage difference. So now I am using the Cloud Drifter. "16 seconds to kill the boss using the Cloud Drifter and the bow. If I use the new mount now instead of the Cloud Drifter, the attack increase given by the new mount is not great on short fights. Versus Grumpy Big Head, you will have that permanently during the entire run, and so in that kind of content, the new mount is good to use. But here, it's a bit worse than the previous one. 16 seconds using the Cloud, 19 seconds using the new mount. You want to see the difference in damage? Let's go in the Ruined Ancient City. A random match. So at the start of the fight, I don't have great damage, but over time, look at the damage I'm able to do. This is really strong, right? So this is a long fight. So you will stack the final damage resistance and the attack increase. So now we have the boss fight. I'm taking a lot of damage, but I have a lot of final damage resistance, a lot of attack, and I'm getting the shield during the run multiple times. So it's safer for me, right? We are gonna try with the Cloud Drifter after that. And the boss is dead. So that new mount is pretty efficient for that content. Now, let's take the Cloud Drifter and retry. I have exactly the same companions. But now, look at the damage with the Cloud Drifter. I am one-shotting everyone. Look at that. This is just terrible, the damage you have when you are using the Cloud Drifter with the bow. Look at that. This is way faster than before. Almost the boss wave, but am I gonna survive during the boss fight? Look at the damage I took right at the beginning. Because I didn't have the shield and the final damage resistance. But the boss apparently is taking a bit more damage than before, or maybe not, and I'm already dead. So the new mount is worse than the Cloud Drifter for the waves, but versus a long fight, a boss fight, it's gonna be more efficient. And now, it's time to check Grumpy Big Head. This is the score I was able to get when I was using the Skyward Blaze mount. And this is the score using the new mount. The effect of these two mounts is not that different in fact. So if you weren't able to get the Skyward Blaze mount, this one is probably a good one to increase your score on Grumpy Big Head. So let's check the fight to see how it goes. And as you can see right now on the screen, it seems like I'm taking almost no damage at all. Remember the last video I made on Grumpy Big Head? I was taking a lot of damage, right? And now this is Grumpy 111, and I am able to tank a lot of damage. I'm never getting below 50% of my health. So that mount seems really efficient for that fight. And there are two other contents in which that mount is gonna be great. In the cross-server showdown event versus the boss of the city, because the fight will last 2 entire minutes. And in the Age of Discovery, in the ruins, because the fight is also gonna last 2 entire minutes. And maybe in the Cloud Ascension Trial versus certain bosses, because some fights are lasting really long, you are gonna take advantage of the new mount as well. So guys, to do a quick resume, the new artifact is a trash artifact. It's useless in every single content of the game. The clone summon is terrible. No matter the class, the opponent you have in front, you will always have something trash to help you. And the new mount is pretty good for long fights, only in other content it's not gonna be that efficient. The cheetah mount is better for PvP, top 1 mount we have today, and the panda mount is the second top mount we have. And after these two mounts, if you don't have them, the new mount is really cool to use, so if you don't have them, let's go for the new mount. So guys, that was all for the video. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment below. Have a really nice day and see you on the next video. Bye bye.